You get nothing. You lose.
Welcome on a Tuesday, folks. Good to be with you. We got a great show today. He's been on the show many times. He's a friend of the show. He's out there. They call him a right-wing influencer on the internet. To me, he's just sane as opposed to insane, because that's what the left is. He's very popular. He's a comedian. He's very funny. He gets in these assholes' faces. It's the great Alex Stein. I sat down with him and had a great discussion. Here's the first part. Take a look. My guest today is a huge, they call him a right-wing YouTube influencer. I just call him a guy, we all got labeled right-winger. He's just for the truth and for some sanity, and a traditional guy. That's all. He's a comedian, very funny, gets right in these guys' faces. He's doing God's work as far as I'm concerned. Please welcome my buddy Alex Stein to the show.
Well, Nick, a legend like you, I always say this, it's such a pleasure to be here, but you're totally wrong. Wait, you're saying I am insane. And I'm not even trying to bring sanity back. I'm saying the world has made me insane, just like it made you insane.
Yes.
So I don't really know how else to act, because we are literally, think about this though, Nick. I just had a video. I'm not trying to brag. It's doing really well. It's at 1 million views. I posted it yesterday on Twitter, and
wow.
I'm talking to I'm talking to a trans woman. It's not even that it's that many views, but I could just tell that people like it. But I'm talking to a trans child and their mother, and this mother is so sick and deluded that she honestly was, and we just posted a minute of, but the clip's much longer that we're going to post here in a day or two.
Yeah.
She was talking about how they celebrated when her daughter got a mastectomy, how they celebrated and that her daughter might have autism, and that, well, an autistic person should be able to, pick their gender. I'm saying, you could be the best comedian in the world, and you couldn't write comedy better than this, what's actually really happening in the world.
Well, how old was the girl?
I think she was a college age, so she was 19 or 20. I never got her official age, but the mom insinuated that they started the transition before she was 18
so,
as a child.
Do you know what they did with the tits? And can you mail them to my house?
Yeah, could you imagine, though? I mean, but seriously, this is what's so sick, though. Listen to this, Nick. Nick, they'll pay for the breast implants of a trans person, and there's a guy named Abel Garcia that got the breast implants, thought they were trans, but if you decide to detransition, the state of California will not pay to remove your tits, which I think is pretty based of the California. They want women to have big breasts. So in that sense, I kind of like it.
Oh my God. Yeah, they've come full circle crazy. They work at a level that is about the emotional level of a sixth grader. That goes for the whole left. The media, the DNC, the politicians. They literally are like children, and enough already. Let me ask you a question. I've been dying to ask somebody with influence, which you are, and you get this stuff. At what point, Al, and I think this is a great question. God forbid they put me on Fox and, fucking have me ask. At what point does a political party go from just being a political opposition to a enemy of the state? Because that's what the Democrat Party is now. Can we quit pretending they're a legitimate opposition to Trump administration, and they call themselves the fucking resistance. I mean, they're an enemy of the state. I want to see Kash Patel. I know he's busy, but I want to see some people getting arrested soon. What do you think?
No, you're exactly right. But think about this, Nick, and you know this. Stephen A. Smith, and I don't think AOC, she might be the candidate, but Stephen A. Smith is now being taken seriously as a presidential candidate. I mean, the guy didn't even know about sports. I think when he talks about his career stats, he said that he averaged 1.5 points a game, and he only played in one game. Jason Whitlock at the Blaze always jokes about that. It's like, you can't even average 1.5 points if you only played in one game. So Stephen A. Smith is so full of shit, and he's going to be their presidential candidate. So yeah, and you know what's funny? He actually is making sense, because he's not a freaking person that wants to destroy this country. So he actually is resonating with people.
That shows you how far off the fucking reservation the left is. That Stephen A. Smith, a professional barker on ESPN, and I've met him. He's a very likable guy. I did his show. I can't remember what it was. Colin Quinn was there and a few other comedians, and he, he's got a ton of personality. He can talk like an auctioneer. But I always watch him and I go, this is a guy that knows how to play the game. He's on Disney, so he can do all the left-wing shit without worrying about it. And then he'll, on a few subjects, he'll go, no, Trump is right there. Maybe he's being sincere, but I'm just saying he knows how to walk that tightrope. And the left is so far left that this guy looks like Strom Thurmond, for Christ's sake, compared to these whack. And you're right, people are taking him serious. And I can think, you know what? You know what, Alex? I would take him over AOC or David Hogg or any of these fucking morons. Just the fact that.
And I hate it. Still, you know what I mean? It'd be different if I agreed with his sport. I don't even agree with his sports opinions, and I think that he would be a better politician than AOC. Like, how bad are they? How they're just talentless is the left.
They have no bench, which is, ironic when talking about a sports guy. They have no friggin' bench whatsoever, and they haven't learned a thing since getting smoked in the election. Their answer to that was to go double down on their horseshit, and they're as far as their favorability, the Democrats, it hasn't moved an iota. They're in the toilet, and Trump's goes up and down and shit. They are stuck in neutral, proving that they have no new ideas. And the other thing is, the last 60 years was all identity politics, was all a lie. Their whole castle was built on fucking lies, and that's why it collapsed eventually. They have a choice. They can either move a little to the center and sound like Stephen A. Smith, or keep going the route, which I hope they do, and implode. I guess they've already imploded. Yeah,
they have imploded a little bit, but this is why they're so stupid, is that they've just ignored illegal immigration. Black people don't like illegal immigration. Nobody really likes illegal immigration. You know what I mean?
Latinos don't either.
Latinos don't, because none of us, the few people that maybe own a factory or something, we love this labor. Most of us, maybe we have a housekeeper or somebody that we have one person that, we might pay an illegal immigrant. But I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, illegal immigration is a huge problem, and they try to make it like it's not a big deal. When you have people like Laken Riley that was sexually assaulted at UGA in Athens, Georgia, one of the most premier schools in the country, getting raped at a gas station and murdered, like that literally never happened.
And not by a football player? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're the comedian. Why is it not a Duke lacrosse player this time, even though those guys were innocent? They try to blame it on Duke lacrosse players, but the whole time it was Trinidad Roof and Venezuelans that were doing the raping on campus, Nick.
When you yell like that, you cut out, but it's still funny.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, I never tell anybody to calm down, because I've been hearing that my whole life, and I fucking hate it. We're talking to Alex Stein, by the way, who is just, like I said, he's out there in these people's faces. And as far as we'll stay on immigration, these friggin', and I've been saying this forever too, these judges have always been a problem, because 99% of them go to Yale or Harvard, whatever, and they're far left radicals. Now they're just activists in robes. I got to hand it to the left. They put this infrastructure in place a long time ago, and but as far as this goes, even I'm not pretending to know anything about the Constitution or whatever. But even I know illegals aren't due process. Those are fucking rights for American citizens. Am I wrong there?
Nick, it's funny because I go on these college campuses, and you do Steven Crowder's show. Well, I'm saying, Crowder got famous going on college campuses.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk now is famous.
Yep.
I'm saying I go on these college campuses, and people act like it's so easy to just own these college kids. It's a little harder than you think, because they just took a class. They're studying these subjects, and I go up there, and same with Charlie, same with Steven, same with these other people together. You'll debate any topic, but this one is a hard topic. It's like, you're right. This guy's a wife beater. I want him kicked out of the country. But this is the other thing. It's like when Laken Riley gets murdered, do I want that Venezuelan gangbanger held to the fullest extent of the law, or do I want him deported? So that's why it sucks. Is even though we are the right position, obviously we want this guy gone, by the letter of the law, sometimes America, we do want to step in, and it is a waste of taxpayers' dollars. And so it's just a bad system. That's why if you come here, you're welcome to come here legally, but illegally, it's hard, because what rights do they have? Because I'm a pro Second Amendment. Does an illegal alien, do they get to have a gun? I would argue yes, but that does suck too. I want a bunch of illegal immigrants with guns, so that's a hard one to debate.
But but isn't it that they're in the country illegally? The Constitution wasn't for fucking everybody on the planet. The people that come, if you're illegal, I don't understand why you have the same rights as I do.
Well, the Constitution, this is the thing.
They're arguing about it. I know there is an argument there, I guess. But
There is, and then you look at the Constitution. I'm not a constitutional expert either. They're always like this blah blah amendment. I'm like, oh, I don't have no idea. The point is it does say persons. It doesn't say citizens in some of the description of the rights that were afforded. So it's like, okay, are you a citizen? Or are you a person? If you come here illegally, you're not a citizen, but you're still a person. So that is the Second Amendment law, where whether illegal immigrants can have guns. So listen, we're fucked. If we let the government be in control of illegal immigration, they're going to let all these people in. So Donald Trump, him stopping it is great, but deporting him is going to be hard. But Nick, I have an
all right, lock them up here, like you said.
No, but you might disagree with this, and I mean this, and I've been getting a little flack. I feel like we should deport every illegal immigrant except for the big booty Latinas. And I'm not even kidding when I say that, because I don't know if the women really need to be deported, Nick. Like, I don't think that they are a threat. I think it's more of the men that are an actual threat. What do you think about that?
I fucking hate them all. Fucking
You hate them? You even with the ladies going?
Fuck them. Give me white meat. Give me a nice piece of white ass. What do you the NBA players, the fucking Latino gangbangers, they all want white women.
That is true. That is 100% true. But
no, I'm kidding. I fucking a pretty woman's a pretty woman. But if she's living off my dime, fuck her too. I don't care how nice her ass is. I'm 63 and married, so I have a different. You asked me this, whatever. I was gonna say 20 years ago. I still would have been married. I'm just saying. I saw that video of you standing on the corner arguing with people about that, the big booties. And some guys how can you say that you're white, and you got right in their face. That was tremendous.
Well, that video blew up, and it is stupid, and I get it, because I don't want these people leeching off our taxpayers, but I don't think that there is a bigger insult and disrespect to the people, to the illegal immigrants, for them to lose their women. Though, to imagine that they come up here with their women and the women stay and they all have to go back. That's worse than. Yeah. A breakup is like a death to sometimes, Nick. You've been through a breakup. For some people, they don't handle it well.
And you're right. The Latino men will take that very hard, because who are they going to punch after they have coffee in the morning? I mean, you know what I'm saying, folks? Wing bing. Do they do that? Oh, sure they do, but everybody does, right? The Irish do it, but the Irish are different. The Irish wait till they get home from church. The Latinos will smack their wife right in the face at 8 o'clock mass. It's a fucking beautiful thing.
But the women hit back, so it's fair.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I was looking before I got married. I was looking for a Latino woman that I could spa with and fuck. And, never happened. Got a nice blonde hair, blue-eyed one is way smarter than me. And it's, anyways, so what the hell else did I want to get on to? Oh, this Dave Portnoy thing. I noticed you had been touching on that recently. I didn't get the full story, but I know the tent poles of the story. I know that he has a bar in Philadelphia. This guy's the owner of Barstool Sports, very successful. And he's got a bar in Philly, and some of his employees had a sign they were holding up and said, "Fuck the Jews," or whatever. And Portnoy, who I believe is Jewish. Is he? Am I wrong there? He is. So Jewish, yes. How do you, first of all, you're that dumb, you're working for a Jewish guy. And they hold that up, and he lost his cool, and I believe it. You hear other people going, "That's horrible." They don't really mean it because they're not Jewish. I mean, he said, "I'm going to destroy these kids," and all this other stuff. And one of his solutions was to give these guys kind of a field trip, his employees, to Auschwitz, which, by the way, yes, it's in Poland, but it was part of Poland that German annexed. So either way, people are like, he doesn't even know where. That's missing the point.
That's what I'm saying. People got mad at that video, and then they started accusing me because I commented, he treated me as a joke. And I have mutual friends. I have a friend that worked there where I've even tried to apologize. I brought a homeless veteran up there, and we did a joke. And, he treated me like I was an actual terrorist. And these people said, fuck the Jews.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Who treated you like a terrorist?
So you don't know about Dave Portnoy and I have a huge history, Nick. You didn't know this about me and Dave Portnoy's history?
Look, I did Barstool Sports. I was there when the Cubs won the World Series. They had me on, sitting in those chairs in their New York headquarters or whatever the fuck. I was drinking whiskey. And then, hold on, I just want to tell you. Then, on a rainy day, they called me. I was living up in Westchester County on a pouring rainy, like Tuesday. They said, we want you to do this show, two guys show. I say yes. I drive into New York. There's traffic. It's raining. I pay $50 to park. I get up there. these two guys interview me. They're like 25 years younger than me. And about 2 minutes into the interview, they go, "You have to admit you're lucky you were born white." And I go, "I don't have to fucking admit that." And I started to push back on that. And I made a joke about something about a Latino girlfriend could take a punch. And they go, "That we're done here."
They kicked you off a Barstool. Okay,
Yeah,
so listen to
yeah.
listen
So
to my.
but I'm just saying that's why I haven't followed. I still like Dave Portnoy because he didn't have anything to do with that. It was his company.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I sort of put him in there. I said, I don't, they tend to be edgy and political, yet they did that to me. So, but I still like Dave Portnoy. But go ahead, tell me what happened.
So I'm a Barstool fan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying I'm a bit. This is
Sure.
going back now 3 years ago. I'm a Barstool fan. I like Dave Portnoy. I like Barstool.
Yep.
And you're right. They did start to get a little woke for whatever reason. The time that they got with that gambling company, Penn National. That's when they really became woke because that company. And I've had that issue too, where I know people that are pro gamblers and casino bosses are like, "Hey, we don't want you in this other pro gamblers video, Alex, because you're political. We don't even want to risk being political in our content." So that's how
we just want to ruin people's lives. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to make people broke, but that's how crazy they are, these casinos. So when it comes to Dave Portnoy, I had a city council. This is when the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. This is how long ago. Remember the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, and I called in on Zoom. And I said this whole thing about how I lost my family, my kids, and I was gonna end it all. But I bet my life savings on the Bengals in the first playoff games, and I let it ride. And now I said now I got $49,000 and I'm out of debt and I've got my wife back, and it was a stupid speech. Barstool Sports shared it, but in the speech I talk about how I lost everything and I won it back in. So they shared it, got like 1 million views, and then 2 hours later, it started to go so viral, they took it down because Penn didn't want to glamorize, didn't want them to post something that said somebody was, lost their whole life and was suicidal because of gambling. So they took it down. So I tweet at Dave. I'm like, "Dave Portnoy, you guys are so edgy, but I'd make a comment, about this. You guys take it down." So listen, so it's a long story. I'll try to make it short. He invites me on his podcast. Then a couple hours later, he's like, he finds out who I am, and he sends me a message, invites me on. He's like, "Oh, Alex, you're too political." And he posts a video at me. I'm at these are pro-abortion people, and I'm yelling at a pro-abortion people. He goes, "I don't want to have it. I like abortion. I don't want to fight with you, so I don't want you on my podcast." So I get all mad. So 2 weeks later, I get an actor. His name's Esteban Ramirez, and he plays. You've seen him. He's a black dude. He plays a homeless guy. And I went and I stormed Barstool's office. I went past security. The video got millions of views, Nick. I can't believe it's one of my most famous things. I brought it. You guys should pull it up. I brought a homeless guy. Just type in Alex Stein Barstool Sports. I brought a homeless guy in there. They kicked me out. They started fighting me. All of his black employees cut my face. I'm bleeding in their office. It was the most chaotic. Yes, Nick, this is my biggest video. That's what everybody comes up to, like Barstool Sports. That's why I thought you asked me this question. You would have known. I thought you did that on purpose. So, long story short, Dave acts like it's well, he acts like it's the biggest deal. They get millions of hits. I get millions of hits. A couple of years later, I'm trying to mend the fences, and I have mutual friends that work there, and Dave wants nothing to do with me. Will not accept my apology.
Come on,
and it was
Dave.
A joke. I know, but then these kids say "fuck the Jews," and he gives them an all-expense-paid trip to Germany, and it's like, give me a break. He's just such an idiot.
He's not sending to the Sandals Resort in Munich.
Yeah, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to get in coach on that Lufthansa airplane. They're going to drink wine. They're going to have fun. They're going to put on the headphones. They're going to watch, some Breaking Bad reruns, and they're going to have a hell of a time. And they're going to go to Auschwitz for 2 hours and feel guilty and leave there feeling great and actually probably have more gratitude about their life. And I don't even think their opinion of Jewish people is going to change. If anything, they might say, "Hey, this Auschwitz stuff looks weird. I'm going to, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's not
weird.
I'm just saying it's not necessarily going to go the way Dave wants it to go.
We're talking to Alex Stein, of course, and the reason I don't know about that, Dave, I'm 63. How old are you? 33?
What?
40?
No, I'm older. I'm in my late 30s now. 38. Yeah,
38
I'm
years
old.
old.
But this happened when I was 35. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever. Fucking, I was 60 at that point. I'm 60. I hate this gossip fights between podcasts, all that horse shit. Even even when it was people I know, whether it was Corolla, and I go, Jesus Christ, they're like teenage girl. I fucking ignored all that shit. But I got
drama. Huh? Drama's stupid. It's all stupid. It's gay and lame. I don't like.
But see, you know how to. My point being is, There's a reason you're so popular on the internet, because you know how to navigate through this shit, and people love that. They love that drama. People's lives are pretty empty, and if there's a beef between two guys that are huge on the internet, it's just as conflict is entertaining as anything, and you know how to navigate it, and so does Portnoy, and it's why you get millions of. I stay home and try to learn the first 4 chords to Iron Man and then go to bed. That's where I'm at.
Well, Nick, but you're a legend. I will never have the resume of Nick DiPaolo. So
I'd rather have yours. Alex, I'd rather have yours.
Okay, I'll take that.
Hey, folks, I will be doing stand-up comedy Thursday night, May 15th, and then Friday night, the next night, the 16th, at Zanies Comedy Club, Rosemont, Illinois. It's a beautiful club. It's one of people ask me where you love, what's one of your favorite cities. Chicago is a killer comedy city. Zanies, next Thursday and Friday night, Rosemont, Illinois, May 15th and 16th. If you want to support this show, go to nickdip.com, go to the merchandise page, and we have hats, hoodies, mugs, cups, plastic hips, girdles, fake teeth, mouthpieces, wigs, toupees, rubber fingers, and dog shit. So buy some of that and support the show at nickdip.com. Also, if you want to listen to full episodes of my show and Louder with Crowder, which is a killer show, all exclusive Rumble premium content. If you want to watch it ad-free with just one subscription, you do that by joining Rumble Premium. Click on the link in the description down below to do that. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, good night, everybody.